Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. This is yet another late look at the motorsport of the past weekend, and you can't blame me because there was a ton of it going on. Not only did we have Formula 1, 2 and 3 from Spain, but two Formula E races from Jakarta, IndyCar and Indy NXT, World Rally Championship, World and European Rallycross, British Touring Cars from Thruxton and Super GT from Japan. So with all that to get through, let's jump right into the video. So normally I do a video for Formula E alone. Well, I'm including it here because the two races in Jakarta were nothing special. Nevertheless, they were important for the championship. In recent races, it looked like it was going to be a battle of the Kiwis, with Nick Cassidy and Mitch Evans hitting really impressive results in the last few races. Sadly, both had a difficult weekend in Indonesia. Nick Cassidy made contact with Jean-Eric Vergne and then crashed out of the second race, whilst Mitch Evans got taken out by teammate Sam Bird once again. You're never seeing Sam Bird ever again because Mitch Evans is currently removing his ears in a dark warehouse somewhere. Evans did do some damage control with a third place in race 2, but it was Pascal Wehrlein and Jake Dennis who moved back to the forefront of Formula E, showing just how unpredictable the series can be. Wehrlein took his third win of the year, and Dennis finished second in both races. Now they're first and second in the championship and separated by just a point. Maserati have made a giant leap forward, and Maxi Günther could still put himself in title contention with his first win of the year. Mortara was in the top 10 in both races too. It was the best we've seen so far from the Italian team. Nissan too had a good weekend, and there were even points for Abt Cupra. All in all, they were not the greatest races in Formula E history. The track didn't have a lot of overtaking opportunities and it was dusty offline, but with 5 races left it is very close. Moving on to IndyCar, after Joseph Newgarden won the Indy 500 for the first time, which I totally called by the way, getting back on a street circuit was like taking a deep breath after being attacked by a lion. Romain Grosjean ended up in the wall again, which is what, the 4th time in 7 races? Grosjean is better than that and I still think he could take a win, but any hopes of a title challenge have hit the wall much in the same way he has. Stingray Rob has crashed out of just about every race in 2023 and he went off a couple of times in Detroit. Callum Ilott too had an 18 rated moment at the start of the race, mounting Kyle Kirkwood. Definitely too hot for TV. Pato O'Ward has had a really good 2023 until the Indy 500 where he crashed. And now he's followed that by crashing in Detroit. He's still a title contender, but he needs to get back to form and stop crashing. Alex Palou led the majority of the race and had a very enjoyable fight with Will Power at the midpoint of the race. The final 10 laps were manic, with Scott Dixon and Will Power making contact, the remaining Arrows McLarens fighting and sliding all over the place, and Alex Palou taking another win and the championship lead. This was a fantastic race, really enjoyable to watch. Palou, Ericsson and Newgarden are the top 3, but with a lot of races left, it could be anyone in the field taking the title at year's end. Indy NXT had 2 races in Detroit, so plenty of opportunities for chaos. This has kind of become the Adventures of Jamie Chadwick show, and she had another bad weekend. She couldn't hang on to a top 10 position in race 1 and had issues that put her laps down in race 2. Indy NXT is still not working for her. The first race was kind of manic. Lewis Foster got turned around at the start in the first of many instances, with half the field seemingly making contact with someone. Nolan Siegel looked like he was about to take his first win, but a gearbox issue saw him slow with just a couple of corners to go, and Reece Gold picked up a very fortunate win. Nolan Siegel turned it around and won race 2. I don't know what Lewis Foster has done to upset everyone, but he seemed to get hit by just about the entire field. Christian Rasmussen and Nolan Siegel have a gap to everyone else, and Jamie Chadwick is last of the full-time drivers and is yet to finish inside the top 10. We'll have to see how she does at Road America in a couple of weeks. Formula 2 was racing alongside Formula 1 in Spain, and Frederic Vesti extended his championship lead in a sprint race with a decent win in wet conditions. Amaury Cordeel was running at the front for a while, which is unusual, but he soon dropped back to his proper place. Oliver Behrman won race 2 and Prema have now won 5 of the last 6 races, looking like the dominant force they have been in Formula 3 previously. Vesti still leads the championship with Teo Pucher, Ayumu Iwaza and Oliver Behrman his closest challengers. It could all change, we're not even halfway through the season yet, the races weren't that interesting. So, Formula 3 also in Spain. Aido, Cohen and Rafael Villagomez collided, and it's funny how those names keep coming up. It's become an expected event for Cohen to crash at some point in a weekend. Gabriel Bortoleto has taken a hold of this championship by being devastatingly consistent, and he continued that form in Spain with 2 4th place finishes, whilst his rivals got tripped up and lost ground. Dino Begonovic retired from the first race, whilst Gabriel Mini didn't score points all weekend, so Bortoleto has increased the gap, whilst not stepping foot on the podium. Zach O'Sullivan was yet another Primo winner in Spain, and Pepe Marti won the feature race and brought himself into title contention and second in the championship. Formula 3 was better than Formula 2, but it is quickly becoming a one-horse race. World Rally Championship from Italy, and what I said last time was even more true here. Only 4 Rally 1 cars made the finish in the points. Andreas Mikkelsen in a WRC2 Skoda was 5th overall. That is ridiculous. Italy turned out to be a bruiser of an event, with many of the top drivers crashing out or hitting reliability issues, including Seb Ogier, who went off the road whilst leading, leaving the Hyundais of Thierry Neuville and Ezepeka Lappi to take a 1-2 victory. Calais Rovanpera is leading the title chase, but Thierry Neuville is not far behind. Ott Tanak and Elflin Evans are not far away, but they need to stop crashing or breaking down to really get chasing the leaders. British touring cars from Thruxton, and it was pretty lackluster, all be said. Actually, this was dull as dishwater. I've been a fan of the British touring car since the early 90s and have never felt so flat about it. It's lacking something, but I don't know what. Ash Sutton won the first 2 races easily. The result of the second race was almost identical to the first. The top 7 did not change places. Dan Rowbottom won race 3 and completed a perfect weekend for Napa Ford. They have won 9 of 12 races so far in 2023, so without a doubt they are the team to beat. Ash Sutton has 6 wins and the championship lead, but Tom Ingram is going well to hang on to him, scoring consistently at every round. If Napa carry on like this though, it won't be long until they're untouchable. World Rallycross began in Portugal and also suffers from a lack of cars and a really stupid running format. Heats decide the grid for the semis and the top 3 of both semis go to the final. I think they should just move to the Extreme E format, as that works better when less cars are involved. But World Rallycross might be worth watching this year because Sebastian Loeb is back and he's racing in a Lancia, fulfilling every rally nerd's sexual fantasy from the last 20 years. In all honesty, the Lancia looks great and I hope it takes a win eventually. They'll have to stop Johan Kristoffersen, who won yet again and will almost certainly be champion come year's end. Ole Christian Veiby had a heavy impact with Timmy Hansen and I hope he's okay because it looked like it really hurt him. Overall, it wasn't that exciting, but hey, Lancia, so it was great. European Rallycross was actually better and had a lot more cars involved. Enzo Ide won and shows a problem with this whole Rallycross system. Why are talented drivers like Enzo Ide, Yanis Balmanis, Andreas Backward amongst others racing in the European Series and not the World Series? Finally, Super GT, and it was the 450km race from Suzuka. I won't go on too long about it because, as it turned out, it was uneventful until it was too eventful. Senna Sakaguchi and Yuji Kunamoto, their first wins since 2019 and 2016 respectively, but the race was stopped early due to a massive shunt between Sugio Matsuda and Kosuke Matsuura. Thankfully, both are okay. Sugio Matsuda, alongside Ronnie Quintarelli, were leading the championship and were on for a podium to extend that lead. Now they need to rebuild the car before the next race in August. So that was all the action from the past weekend. What was your top race of the weekend? Mine was the IndyCar. The last 10 laps were edge of your seat watching, and the title is nicely balanced amongst a large number of drivers. Certainly better than Formula 1. Next weekend is of course the 24 hours of Le Mans, but we also have a lot of TCR racing, with the TCR World Tour joining TCR Italy at the Vallelunga, TCR UK from Alton Park, and TCR Australia alongside S5000. So outside of the World Endurance Championship, not a lot. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and leave your thoughts down below, and have a good one.